It's your girl Yazzie J, and welcome to Mood Swings, where faith meets real life. No judgment, just truth, healing, and good vibes. I keep it raw, rooted, and always led by God. So whether you're healing, evolving, or trying to find your groove, tap in, deep breaths, and let shit. It's your girl Yazzie J, and welcome to Mood Swings. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing well. You know, things could be better, but I mean, that's life. We always go through some things. I'm just here today to break into the second episode of this season. And today's topic is sacrifices. Now, I know you guys are probably sitting there thinking like, sacrifices? What does she mean by sacrifices? Like, where is this conversation going? And I know that sometimes it could be a little iffy, but we're going to start off with this topic with the definition and explaining what sacrifices mean. So it can have different few definitions. And one is a biblical and religious way as far as slaughtering an animal and offering or doing a sacrificial offering to God. And then there's also the modern way of how we think of sacrifices, meaning as far as like giving something up to obtain something of value or something that's more important. And I want to ask you guys, when was the last time that you actually sacrificed something for yourself for the betterment of you? Now take that question and I want you to write it down. And at the end of this episode, I want you to kind of sit with yourself and see what pros and cons of sacrificing has done for you. Because I feel like sacrificing irresponsibly can be a hindrance, and it also can be a blessing when it's done through God. And a lot of times we as human beings take sacrificing in multitudes of ways. We sacrifice our minds, our bodies, our well-being, opportunities, all because of other people or other things. And I wouldn't say that those things actually help in a way. And I'm gonna give you a few examples of what I mean by that. So I feel like a lot of times as human beings, we sacrifice our happiness for other people. And the negative side of that is that we restrict ourselves from growing within because we kind of settle. And we shouldn't do any settling. No settling. Not in 2026. Like, let's be real here. Y'all not tired? Do not sacrifice your happiness for other people, because then you end up being angry and upset and bitter and walking around with a chip on your shoulder because you're forcing yourself to be unhappy to make other people happy. Like, where they do that at? I mean, I ask that question as far as like where they do that at, like it's not being done, because it is being done. And trust me, I've been a victim of it. So let's just say no more settling in 2026, okay? Also, we sacrifice our time for work, you know, where we're chasing a dollar and not even realizing that we are hindering like our chances of relationships with people. You know, sometimes we always have this mindset of like, oh, I gotta get it while I can, I gotta grind, hustle. But I would say the negative side of that was sacrificing and putting all that time in, you know, with that extra OT that get taxed. Let's be real here, because it get taxed. Trust and believe, I know. I've worked in payroll, okay? It gets taxed. So getting all that OT and not really seeing your money, taking all that time away from your loved ones and the things that you need to do for yourself, for what? You're hindering good possible, you know, presence. You know, sometimes when we as human beings take all that time to just be so locked in that we miss what's going on in the present. I am a present liver that plans for the future. So I've never been that person that just been so locked in that I'm not paying attention to what's going on with me. So I know sometimes we look at it like, oh, well, I'm sacrificing and I'm trying to grind and I'm trying to get this money. Yeah, you're trying to grind and get this money, but you're not even realizing that you're losing out on the things that are around you, whether that's family, kids, relationships. It doesn't matter. Also, we sacrifice our love because of our pride and our joy, pride and ego. I wouldn't say pride and joy, pride and ego. We sacrifice the love because of that, because of we've been hurt, past traumas, and just detrimental things that has happened to us, where we kind of block our blessings from actually connecting with people for real, genuine healing relationships. Like, I wish people really understood that, because I've seen a lot of that in my dating life, and it just never works out, because you can really see when a person is just holding back, or they just been hurt so bad that their ego is just kind of like the most thing that's important to them. Like, come on, let it go. You're not hurting nobody but yourself. It's whack. Like, come on now. Go to therapy. Work through that trauma so you can kind of, possibly see the fruits of healing and being able to really enjoy and have a great relationship with someone, because you're not carrying that baggage. Stop sacrificing your love for your ego. Listen, I rest my case in that department. Okay. And we also sacrifice like our authenticity, like just for trends and following behind what's in, what's the thing to do, or how to look, or what is everybody else doing, or, oh, I want to go get this done, or I want to go get that done. Listen, no shade to the people who feel like they need to do different things for themselves to make them feel good about themselves, but be authentic. Being authentic is the most rewarding thing that you can do for yourself, because it's you staying true to who you are and not really falling victim and becoming a chameleon to the trends of what's going on in the world, and how this looks good and that looks good, but now all of a sudden you're kind of soulless. You're losing yourself. And I would say these are the ways of sacrificing irresponsibly, because you're just doing what the world is doing. You're following what the world is following, but you're not really being true to yourself. And when you're not being true to yourself, you block your blessings that God has for you. So be mindful. And if those are some of the things or sacrifices that you have done to yourself or with people, it's time to rethink some things. Um, I want to touch base on some other areas of sacrifice as well, where we can kind of see if we give up certain things, then we can gain other things. Give up the bad to gain the good. What can Yasmin be talking about when she says give up the bad to gain the good? And I have 4 examples, I believe. So, one is certainty. And I say this because I'm a victim of it. It's more so of like wanting to know, or having this mindset of knowing how the future is going to turn out, and you know, oh, I gotta be able to know what's going on. I gotta know no, give up the certainty. Give up the need of having to know everything, because only God knows all. We don't know how tomorrow gonna turn out. And when you give up certainty, you actually gain faith. And it actually shows God that you're trusting Him more versus trusting yourself, or trusting what the world is saying, or your friend is saying, or your mama, your brother, your sister, your cousin. Like, give it up. Give up the certainty. Trust me. Trust me, I'm learning in that area. Like, having more faith. Like, I will share a little later in the season my journey of faith, but I've gained so much more faith within the last year and a half with God. So when you let go of that certainty, you definitely will see the fruits of just having more faith in Him. Another example, number two, would be resentment. You know, a lot of times we walk around with this baggage and these feelings of, I can't stand this person. I don't like this person. I hate this person. Or you're holding a grudge. It's not the way to live. Now, granted, I'm not saying don't hurt, don't feel, because we're human. We're supposed to hurt. We're supposed to feel. We're supposed to be upset or be sad about certain things that doesn't work out in your favor or how a person treats you. But I'm saying don't hold on to it. Sacrifice that resentment so you can have emotional freedom. Sorry, I had to take a pause for a second because I've never been a grudge holder, but I've held on to pain for many years. And when I finally let go of the pain and really finally forgiven people, I realized that, wow, when you're really carrying all of that weight, when you're really carrying all of that resentment, you realize that you're the problem to yourself. Because although that person may have done something to you or made you feel a way or disappointed you in some type of way, guess what? They're off living their lives and being perfectly fine with who they are and how they did you. They don't care. But you're the one that's still holding on and still feeling hurt and angry and all this stuff. And then I realizing that you're inflicting that own pain onto yourself. I actually I wanna sorry, I have notes. I'm a note taker, you guys. Look, don't judge me, okay? I'm a note taker. So I definitely have notes. Um the resentment area is just one of those places I know that is pretty hard for people to give up or to really come to terms with, but it is very freeing when you let that go. I've seen so many people around me hold on to things for years, 10 plus, 15 plus, 20 plus years. And when other people have moved on, it's kind of like, why are you still hurting? Why? When things have changed, things have grown, things have just like evolved, let it go. It will really give you emotional freedom. Number three, I would like for us to sacrifice the busyness, the mindset of I'm always busy. I got this going on, I got that going on. I think I spoke about it before. Yes, I did speak about it before as far as like the time and the chase for certain things. Like it's okay to be busy, it's okay to be productive, but there has to be some type of balance. And when you sacrifice busyness, you actually gain presence. A lot of times, think about it. A lot of times, you have a lot of people who are really successful, but 9 times out of 10, those people who are really successful lose time with family, kids, or even time for themselves. And let me tell you something, we cannot lose time for ourselves. Because if we ain't no good, nothing ain't no good. Whether that's a business, whether that's a family, whether that's a household, whether it's a job, if you're no good, and what I mean by you're no good, lack of sleep, lack of nurturing, lack of self-care, lack of your health being 100% or being good, nothing else is going to work out. You're going to start finding yourself being very absent from a lot of things. So give it up busyness, you gain some presence. And number four, validation from others. This is a real touchy example. Because we live in a time now where I remember when social media used to be so fun, so funny, And it was very big for its networking or connecting with people. Now it has come to this place of, I got to show this, I got to show that, I have to show this, I have to show that. And it's like, I mean, cool, but is it really a need for that? And if you are really out here seeking validation from others, you have a lot more inner work that you need to do. Because that means that you are not comfortable with self. That means you're not comfortable with self. That means you don't know yourself. And that means that you are insecure in some areas with self. So when we give up validation from others, you actually have peace with God. You gain peace with God because He's the only one that you need validation from, honestly. I mean, we come into this world, we have parents, but we come into this world alone and we die alone. And we come into this world and we're created and born into this world with a purpose. So, and the only purpose that we have is the one that God gives us, not other people. So let's sacrifice those 4 things so we can gain the others. So let's run that back real quick. If we give up and sacrifice certainty, we gain faith. If we give up and we sacrifice resentment, we gain emotional freedom. If we give up and sacrifice busyness, we gain presence. And last but not least, if we give up and sacrifice validation from others, we gain peace with God. And I feel like that is a really good space to be with. All of those things that you gain, like, how could you not want to have that feeling of peace? That's what peace looks like to me. The gain from the sacrifice is the peace. And let me tell you something. I done got a taste of that, and it's amazing. It is really amazing because you really just cut out all the chaos and you just slow down for a minute and you take a moment and you say, hey, you know, other things may be chaotic, but life is really not that bad. It is only what you make it. So if you find yourself putting so much on your plate, best believe you're going to have a chaotic life. I wanted to run 2 scriptures by you guys. The first one is Romans 12:1. And it is, therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. For me, that means give up your worldly thoughts, your worldly doings, and surrender to Him and look to Him for guidance. It's kind of like you're sacrificing your whole self to be anew or to refresh. And being someone that has practiced that, it is definitely a rewarding feeling because you start to really see yourself in a different light. And the second verse that I have, scripture that I have, is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 6. And it says, do not forget to do good and share with others with such sacrifices. God is pleased. And I use that scripture because this world could use a little bit more kindness, a little bit more fellowship, a little bit more stewardship. You know, let's try not to be so against each other and a little bit more coming together. And I know it's hard to say in these times because we got a lot of other crap that's going on. But let's start within our circles. Let's start within the people that we network with, that we do business with, the people that we live with. You know, let's start there. And when we start there, we start to expand and we start to evolve. And then we start to become a little bit more Christ-like. And when I mean Christ-like, I mean more kindness. I mean more love. And I feel like that's what this world really needs, because we are living in some terrible times. And I know life has been much more terrible, prior, but things are really bad. It's a lot of evil going on. And I just wish that we were a lot more connected with the real purpose of life and understanding of life, instead of the materialistic things, the tangible things, the social things, or the need to have to feel accepted. The only person we should be feeling accepted by or wanting that acceptance from is God, not no one else, honestly. Because once you have it with Him, everything else falls into place. And life just gets easier that way, no matter the chaos. We just have to be a little bit more trusting to Him. I have sacrificed a lot in my life: time, money, experiences, opportunities, all for other people. And it hasn't gotten me anywhere. It didn't get me anywhere. I mean, I'm in a much better place now, of course, but I'm just saying, like, it just didn't get me anywhere. And just take that from my experience. If we were just a little bit better at sacrificing the things that holds us back, we will actually see the gain of the true sacrifices that we make for our lives and for the people around us. And I honestly just want to be a model to my children and be able to show them what real sacrifice looks like. It starts with self. It starts with the mental and the spiritual and the physical and the emotional health. Make those sacrifices and you'll see how much more you gain in life. Now, take it from me. I am no perfect person. No one's perfect for that matter. And anything that I'm giving you advice on or just speaking about is literally from my own experiences and the things that I've practiced personally. So I'm no better than anyone else at all. But this is who I am, and this is part of the purpose of what God has placed me here for. I really believe that within my walk of just spiritual healing in my journey, this is part of my calling. So I hope that this has touched someone. I hope that this has helped someone. And don't forget that question that I asked you guys. When was the last time that you sacrificed something for the betterment of you? And when you watch this, please give me some comments and let me know if this has touched you or if it's something that you are willing to take into consideration for yourself. Because I'm just here to help as much as I can. God didn't give me this mouth for no reason. But that is all. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I thank you for tuning in to Mood Swings. Thanks for swinging in, and I'll see you guys later. And remember, you guys, keep your head up and your mood swings intentional. Peace.